What did you miss on snowmobile sessions this week?
As was said just before, we're all swimming right now into delays and all these other things that are up in the air right now. But I think, you know what, if I look at all companies right now, Gary, Rich, and Dave, I think BRP is in a pretty favorable position. They're communicating super well with us, with all the dealers, and I think they've got a plan. That they grab things much earlier, I think, than most. But I've worked previously in corporate and manufacturing, and I cannot. There's about 400 suppliers that produces the various parts to make one skidoo. So you got to imagine how complex this is. It's got to be an absolute nightmare. But you know what? It will resolve itself. Yes, there'll be some delays, but I think everybody will be on the trails for the winter for sure this year.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And it's global too, Jean Luc. It's not just your industry. It's everywhere. It's the entire automotive industry. It's in my industry, the printing business. It's global. It's not just, you know, the recreation industry as well too. So everybody's feeling it.
You're absolutely right, Rich. Our neighbor here, they sell fridges, microwave, and all that stuff, and they are experiencing the exact same thing. They have, you know what, over the last year or so, since the pandemic, you know, the consumers thought that this was kind of behind us, but we're feeling the ripple effect right now. It's here now because stuff was on the shelf first. Now the shelves are empty, and we're trying to replenish them, and it's tough. It's very, very complex. You see the dealerships, the car dealerships without vehicles. Mm-hmm. It makes it quite complex to continue to operate.
Yeah,
BRP is moving things along. And whatever can be operational to get you at least to enjoy the sport, they will do. Right. Maybe some instances where we may have to come back, a little bit of an inconvenience, but we're going to be on the trails, right?
So, Jean Luc, is there any particular model that'll be coming in first? That's kind of a, you know, like standard. I mean, can you even tell about that right now, or is it still way too early?
In terms of sleds right now for us, we already have 69 on ground. But not all are ready to be delivered. Right. But I'd say we got some back countries that are completed, which I know they came with no issue. We have some MXZs, TNTs, some Renegades that came about. There no issues. A couple of XRSs. Last week we began receiving some of the parts. So some parts are shipping in October. Right. Some parts will be early November. But, you know, I'll tell you one thing, again, BRP does an outstanding job at communicating and keeping the dealers up to date with how we can better educate the consumers. So we've got the information, we've got to understand it, we've got the list of the vehicles we've sold, which one's affected. And right now, certainly at my store, I would believe it's the same thing for every store. We're taking the time to call those customers when we have visibility. Mm-hmm. And I think that's critical right now. Until we don't have full visibility, we don't want to make that call too early.
Yeah.
We'd rather under promise, over deliver, surprise and delight type of thing. So, you know, there's no doubt there'll be some units that will arrive a little bit later than expected. Mm-hmm. But then again, you know, are we really riding in November, December? No. Do we like to have it in our garage? Yeah, we do.
I think it's just, you know, that old saying, first world problems. We're all so used to getting our sleds in September and October and sitting on them, staring at them. But I mean, really, you know, as long as you get it before or when the season starts, that's all that really matters. So,
as long as we can get people riding, what we tell them is, hey, your machine's ready. Yeah, we don't have the roof for your side by side, or we may not have this and that. It's unfortunate. It's not what we want, but at least we can get you riding. We'll bring you back to install, but at least go out and enjoy it. The consumers, you know, if they feel, say that there's a sled coming out too late for them based on the matrix we have, they'll have a choice if they want to defer to a 2023. That'll be an option BRP will allow them to have. So, you know, I think they've got a lot of solutions. They're a company that's all about innovations, ingenuity, and they're really trying as best they can, given the circumstances, to be as consumer friendly as possible. It's not easy. It's not easy what they're doing.
In a time of what's going on right now, where parts are just really hard to get to, and you know, if you've watched any of my videos, it's really, and I've always been this guy is, get into your dealer when you order your sled, get one of those catalogs and itemize all the lists that you want right now and give it to your local dealer so they can organize, because you have to understand also as a local dealer, they're buying millions of dollars of sleds, skidoos, ATVs, even if it's winter, that's when they're thinking about summer. Right. So when they have to order and then pay for this stuff, it makes it really challenging for them. So the best thing you can do as a consumer is give them your list of what you want, because now instead of ordering 20, they might go, look, this is going to be, everybody wants this. We're going to order 80 because they don't want 50 sitting on the shelves. That takes away from capital that they can use to have other stuff. It also takes away from space and money to buy other stuff that people really do want. So I've always been a big proponent. I've done that from years. For in anything that I purchase is I go in there as early as I can and I make it known. And if you can save the dealer, people always want a deal, right? They always want they want this and that. But I'll tell you how you get a deal. The best way is you make it easier for the dealer and their dealership. So if you're a consumer that goes in and they know that you're going to buy this and have this and that, then they can help you with some of the parts and accessories. And they're willing to do that because you're helping them. But if you come in at last minute on I need this, and this in a shop, right now, seriously, if they're out of it, deals don't happen because you either buy it or the next person will. I mean, it's interesting to see because KTM was like this for a long time. Remember, if you wanted a 300 XC or XCW, two-stroke dirt bike from KTM, it's like if you saw one on the showroom, you bought it right there because there were four guys probably driving from wherever to get that. And this is what is happening with Sea-Doo and Can-Am, and not one, because the product's awesome, but two is just that so many people have discovered what we have known for a long time, and how amazing this sport is, how you can do it in so many different ways. And above all, the fun that you have that you cannot get any other way.
But you're right. Coming in and having your list, of parts you want to order early makes our lives much easier, as opposed to waiting the week before you pick it up to have this laundry list of things you want, and now we have to start ordering it, trading it from other dealers. It's complex. It helps a lot for sure.
What I always tell people is think of what you're going to use for the season, be realistic, and if you need an extra pair of goggles, obviously buy an extra pair of goggles. But this is not the time to buy 10 pairs of goggles because you're outing someone who might need goggles in the season. And especially when we're talking about parts that are replaceable that we fix. And man, there are people I know in Squamish that have, probably bought 6 chains, right? And it's like they're sitting in their garage and there's people who break chains and can't get one right now. And so we need, we can do better than that. Again, it's first world problems. It's not act like we're snotty-nosed little kindergarten kids here. We should, there is a little bit of our part that we have to do too, is being aware of what we're, if you can help people out, if people need parts and you have some parts in your, hey, just sell them at the same price if you got it, or return it to your dealer, let them sell it, whatever, we can all take care of each other. This is how we get through it, because I'll tell you, it is a ripple effect. We haven't felt we haven't turned the corner yet. I guarantee you that, right? Because this is the backlog at the beginning. I said, we had stuff on show. It's not to scare people. It's just to remind them. We just have to be more understanding at your dealership, talking to people. And I agree. I concur with what I've seen BRP do in the 11 years I've been with them. Is always top notch. It may not be what everybody wants, this immediate justification. And everybody's going to be different, and the way they're handling it is going to be that. And I think everybody at the end of the day will be happy. And there will be some people who will get their sleds later than they anticipated. And what I say to that is, I'm not saying I don't wish that on anybody, but you have to really think hard. Is that, do you want it? Because who knows what's going to happen next year.
Snowmobile Sessions and Summer Sessions Live, Mondays on YouTube. Or listen free on your favorite podcast app anytime you like. We're on our way to 20,000 downloads on Apple, but you can also catch us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and more. Snowmobile Sessions and Summer Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.